To start off today's look, I will first brush up my eyebrows. Then I will take my P. Louise base shade 1 and carve my brows out using a flat brush. When I have finished carving out the brows, I will use a patting motion to cover the rest of the eyelid with my P. Louise base. I am now taking my JH38 Perfect Pencil Brush from Morphe to stamp in the shade Bring It from the ColourPop Chasing Rainbows palette. I am going for a more rounded shape today, so I will begin mapping out that shape by stamping the shadow into the inner corner and then some on the outer corner, then connecting the dots. I then do just a bit of blending work upwards. I then use my Beauty Smarts New Hue Shadow Switching Pan to clean off that same JH38 Perfect Pencil Brush. I got that at Ulta for only $9. It's very handy and I recommend everyone get one. I dip into the shade Wishlist from the Chasing Rainbows palette and I stamp that color in 50% on the last shadow and 50% off. This shade is a bit more on the peachy side, but when it's blended with the blue, it makes a very pretty purple. Next, using my JH40 Precise Blender brush from Morphe, I dip into the shade Wiggle and go 50% on the last shade and 50% off. I then move on to blending everything carefully to avoid harsh lines. Now I am taking my angled brush from the P. Louise Acid Rain Brush Trio. I'm going to dip that brush into some Vaseline and use it to cut the crease and make a clean slate to lay down some new colors on the lid. I will then use a Q-tip to wipe away the Vaseline. Taking my flat brush from the beginning, I coat it in more P. Louise base shade 1 and I stamp it into my lid under my cut crease. Using my JH41 all over lid brush from Morphe, I'm going to take the shade Blurred Lines and pat that into the inner third of my lid. Now I will be switching to a new eyeshadow palette. I will be using the same brush to pat in the shade Petticock from the Hank and Henry Living in Color palette on the middle third of my lid. Then I will be doing the same with the shade Sultry Sin on the outer third of my lid. Using a small, dense but fluffy brush that I received in my April 2020 BoxyCharm box, I will be carefully blending those colors together. I chose to blend the blue shade into the white shade, and then the pinker shade into the blue. I am going back in with my JH38 Perfect Pencil brush and stamping the shade Bring It from the same Color Pop palette, and will be carefully blending it in small circular motions in the outer corner and up where the cut crease was. This eye look is going to stray a bit from a cut crease into a more semi-smoked out look. Going back in with my precise blending brush, I'm going to start blending everything together carefully, and I'll be laying down a little bit more color in places that may have lost some of it. Using a small fluffy blending brush that I got in a past Ipsy bag, I will be taking the shade Wiggles again and blending and diffusing the outer edges of this look. So I went off camera and completed the other eye, and now it is time for some fun details. I will be taking my JH43 eyeliner smudge brush and dipping it into the shade Prism from the Chasing Rainbows palette, and carefully smudging that into my upper lash line to add some dimension. Now I will be taking my angled detail brush from the P. Louise Acid Rain Brush Trio, and I will be dipping that into the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette, the shade Glitter Memory, and putting that into my inner crease for fun. Something I would like to mention is, as you may have noticed, I have used 3 different eyeshadow palettes for this look so far. This is not necessary, and you don't need to go out of your way and purchase these 3 palettes to create this look. I just happened to find the combination I wanted from these. Remember, you can still use these techniques and these steps I used and apply it to your own preference of colors. Whether you find that combination in a single palette or multiple, you do you. So I have gone off camera again to complete my face makeup. Now the look is really coming together, I feel like. So taking my eyeliner smudge brush from earlier, I'm going to add more of the shade Prism to my lower lash line and bring it up to my outer upper lash line. I'm trying to create this doll-like effect with my eyes. I'm taking my fluffy blending brush and I'm going to blend in and out the shade Woke from the Chasing Rainbows palette, and overall diffuse the outer edges of the whole eye look. Using my JH42 brown bone brush, that is hard to say, brow bone brush, I am dipping into the Hello Halo highlighter from Wet n Wild, and I am popping that in under my brow bone. Gonna pop a little bit more of that highlighter into my inner corner with my JH39 inner corner brush. I had this random neon blue LA Girls eyeliner that I haven't used yet, so I thought I'd pop that in on my waterline. Now it's time for the brows. I'm going to brush them up and use my favorite brow gel from e.l.f. And I'm going to make them a bit fluffy. It's what I prefer, but you can do whatever brow you like to do. Also, I had forgot to mention, I did off camera add a few false freckles. I do have some real freckles, but my foundation often covers them, and for particular looks I like to try and add them back, I guess. So I went off camera to pop on my favorite false lashes. They are from e.l.f. They're only $5 and they are the faux mink ones in Social Butterfly. They are so fluttery and beautiful, and I have been able to personally reuse them quite a few times. Not too much, but for the price point, they are just fantastic. And I want to give this look a more fairy-like look, so I am going to add some rhinestones. I can't help myself. It's one thing I like to do with almost all of my looks lately. I feel like it'll give it a more fairy-like look, and I am just obsessed with fairies, personally. My nickname growing up was Mary Fairy. I used to love to draw them, write books about them, dress up as one, and I mean, who doesn't like fairies? Just a little fun fact about me. And peek my fiance in the background. He is playing video games. Well, I believe that completes this look. I had a lot of fun doing it. I just love blue and I love the little rhinestones. I hope you could have learned something from this, and if you want to see more, please let me know. And what do you want to see? Bye!